Morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Risk On, episode 35, episode 46. Jesus, I don't know where I got 35 from. Where our only goal today is to have more listeners than Swizzle's arch nemesis, Ben Cowen. As you can see here, he only has 298 viewers, which is for a guy as prolific as Ben Cowen is at bear posting, you would think a couple more people might tune in. Not today because dirty bears aren't well liked. And when you have a face like that,
Let's not talk too much shit. His listener count is going up. And as I mentioned last show, I was not trying to create beef. I said he's been right. And I have great respect for Ben Cowen. He did not enjoy, he did watch the clip and did not enjoy the clip. My sincerest apologies to Ben Cowen. I have nothing against you. I told you I respect you greatly. But yeah, I extended the olive branch. We'll see how it plays out. It would be nice to get more listeners than him here, though. I can't say I'd be mad about that.
Yeah, he didn't like that tweet. I'm not surprised, to be fair. We were laughing at his hairline. Not ideal.
Not nice of us. We can admit that wasn't our best work.
Wasn't
the crazy thing was I probably shouldn't even say this. I was driving through the mountains, so my service was kind of spotty. And I got like a string of a bunch of notifications, and I kind of saw the initial one, and I assumed it was like other people talking about it and had seen it. But it was actually, I got notifications because he made a bunch of drafts and he like posted and then deleted and then posted and deleted like different iterations of him saying my PFP was stupid, which I agree. My PFP is pretty dumb, but I love it. But yeah, he made like three or four different posts before he decided which anti-swizzle one he was going to like. So
yeah, I saw that too. What?
Or did he delete all of them in the end?
He deleted a few and then he kept one up.
Let's go.
And he ended up going with this bad boy. Imagine sitting around talking shit about my profile picture and then yours is this. And he mocked Swizzle's Suey. Everyone here who's been around for a while knows that Suey was the next greatest thing to FWOG. It was the next FWOG that never became the next FWOG.
I'm just supporting local artists, right? Who was our guy? Literally one of the nicest people I've ever met. Petricky.
Petricky, yeah.
One of the nicest salt of the earth people. I support artists in the space, and
never terrible came for him. Cowen hates the small guy, the little guy. I think that's the narrative here, right?
Yeah, he hates the small guy. Hates Swizzle. Big Swizzle hater.
Swizzle hater.
Imagine sitting around talking about this. Damn, it's not ideal. We did laugh at his hairline, so maybe deserved.
Deserved.
My hairline's not great on my PFP either. So shots taken. Fair point. We can move on. I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry.
We're sorry, Ben.
We're deeply sorry, Ben. And he was right. He is right. His bear thesis is taking us out right now. Market's shit in the bed, and we were laughing at him. So maybe we should
woke up this morning to him being even more right, actually.
Yeah,
so,
disaster, really.
Yeah,
absolute disaster. We got Trump simultaneously saying the war is going to last until September, and then also saying that the war is a 12 or 15 out of 10 in terms of success, and he would bomb again, and then also saying that Cuba's going to fall soon. In 48 hours.
He's talking Cuba now. I didn't see that.
He's talking Cuba. He's just banging down dictators one by one. And the market is loving it too.
Yeah, it's loving it. I'm loving it here as well. Obviously, can't leave.
Is there any indication of when you can leave?
I have no idea, man. I have no idea. As you both know, I've been going through the ringer with food poisoning in the last 24 hours. So I've kind of been checked out, just, casual missile alerts on the phone.
You sent us the missile alert yesterday.
Yeah. It doesn't get better than that. So
for those of you who weren't on on Tuesday, Sats is stuck in Dubai. He's going through food poisoning. His gym that he's been working out at was literally bombed. It was a small bomb, so he was fine.
Small bomb. But,
nothing too crazy. And he's gotten kicked out of 2 Airbnbs now, so not a great week.
Wait, they're kicking you out of your Airbnbs too?
Well, it's just like we have a week, and then that they have to move people on because they've got people booked, and I'm trying to extend, and it's like no, we can't extend, so I've got to move Airbnb every week right now. It's just a massive shambles, man. Like I said this before the show, I'd never thought I'd say this, but I'm trying to be back in the UK right now, and I never thought I would say that. Really, truly.
Yeah, I feel like people shit on the UK. They shit on it like all these like American cities. Now I'm gonna fall into this trap too because you have to pay taxes and the weather's crappy. But you don't have to be neighbors with Iran.
That is a positive. That is a positive. Yeah, it's somewhat people overlook, and then you end up like me, some sort of clown sat in Dubai right now, can't leave, dreaming of being cold. So what can you do?
You know, the one thing that has been spoken of though is every time we talk about FOMO and our trading on stream, Sats has always had the excuse, I'm in the UK, I can't trade on FOMO. I don't really know what the excuse is now. You're in the Middle East, man. They have no restrictions.
He can show us how it's done.
Yeah, let's see you trade.
True. Should I load up a 10K account? See how quickly I can run that shit down.
As long as you do better than Wood in our risk on account. I think that's been at 0 for.
No, we still have. I'm down 60%. All right. No.
Wood smited that whole bag, bro. Like he moves on his own. Wood moves as a solo mover.
You guys are hard to track down, you know. And when there are things happening in the heat of the moment, you know, the market moves quickly. I move quickly. You guys are slow boomers.
Real.
What can I say?
You're on top of things. You're on top of things.
I'm on top of things.
60% down. You are on top of things.
60% down. But people want to hear the legendary Sats trade. See him trade. Maybe.
Yeah, I had my tracked wallet. What was big the beginning of the cycle, like for the first 6 months, and then I started buying and selling things pretty fast, and that didn't go down a treat. So I was like, maybe I should get off the Docs wallet.
Yeah.
Never went back.
Dark wallets are tough. I do think this is a good opportunity to chat about like the state of the trenches last night. I know Swizzle kind of got into an argument with some people last night about a coin, and then I've had some ridiculous things said to me. Like there are still people really actively trading this market. Like there's some chats where scans are happening left and right, but every runner is just like going to then like the floors are just horrible right now. You got Bean at like 5 million, and that's like the biggest thing in the market right now. Which is really sad to say. Punch is at 6.8 million now, down from 55.
What?
Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't even
got taken out back.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, Punch got taken out back, man. Gorilla Capital took that out back.
Gorilla Capital.
Fucking hell, man.
Conway is at 400K last night, and I had our girl Plato tell me that Conway was a disaster. It should have done so much better. It had supply in such great hands. And it topped at 12, and it's now at 400K. And I was like, excuse me? And she was like, yeah, it had supply in great hands. I was like, dude, it's at 400K. What the fuck are you talking about? It had
supply was in fantastic hands. They just happened to have sold.
But it seems like every coin, everybody is saying right now, supply control. But nobody can control the fucking supply.
Yeah. That's
what's
how
happening
it is right now. Yeah. I think the current reality of the trenches is that a lot of people just don't have the same size they did back then, and that it comes down to that's why the ceilings are low, because people will see $1,000 right now and they insta sell. Back in the day, everyone had 6-figure ports, so it was okay to hang on to a low 4-fig, fucking even mid 5-fig positions. But now everyone sees like $400 and they're like, wrap it up, I'm out, I'm done. It's a tough market. Trenches are in a tough spot.
And this is the point I made last night when we were talking to some people. Like I'm not actively trading this market. I know Wood is not. Sats, I know you're kind of working on trying to help with the infrastructure layer, but like you have even actively stated like, hey, I am with one of these launch pads running product, and I'm saying there's not much worth trading. I think like I didn't even realize there was a subset of people that were like so actively trading it still, but there clearly is. And my point was like, look, we were people like us, or you know, there's a bunch of others who were these marginal buyers who basically they didn't play any of these micro trench type things, and then they would wait for basically like the confirmation of a meta, confirmation of like some type of sustained mind share on something, and then these types of traders would be the marginal buyers who would enter at higher levels, and then you'd almost pass it on from the trenchers, quote unquote trenchers, to like now it's a real token that has been established that people trade, as opposed to like the trench gambling. I think those marginal buyers are gone, have been gone for quite some time now. Or if there are any left, there's only a few of them left, and they'll probably be out of money soon because they're the ones just getting farmed. And the point of that is to say, like, there's just no incentive for those types of traders to be on right now because the risk reward does not add up, because they're looking to put size into things, and you cannot put size into anything right now, regardless of what your definition of size is. I'd say anything that you get, 5 figures plus, like these just aren't liquid trades, and like there's 80 to 90% downside imminently, and at best you're looking for a 2 to 3x, and you have no idea when the rug's going to be pulled. And so I just don't think there's conditions that make sense. The marginal buyers have all kind of been extracted away, or they realized, we're just going to step away until better conditions arise. We all hope better conditions arise and you can get back to some of this on-chain trading. But right now, like that system, like the symbiosis of the on-chain ecosystem is broken, because like you only have the trench gamblers. You don't have what I would consider to be like traders who are going to like, kind of step in once they see there's something there with some continuity and sustainability. Everything's done after 48 hours.
Yeah. And what's the last coin we did see like last over a week right now? Like Punch. I don't even. Yeah, Punch. That was the last thing, and
but that didn't even last for a week.
Yeah.
It hit a high, and then there was no second leg. It's just been a crawl down. Like if there was any type of like rebound attempt, it lasted for maybe 30 minutes, hour, 2 hours, and that doesn't count. So I would say like, that's just where we are in the market, and that's kind of how it's been for a while.
What's really interesting? How Penguin played out. Like now in hindsight, you look back and Penguin ran to 100+ mil, and we didn't have a single thing really happen after that, apart from Punch. And it's like, yeah, well, back then, like we used to have 100 mil, 200 mil runner. You'd have all these different coins spawn after it. We just didn't have any of that.
Like with Moodeng, we had the penguin afterwards, we had the elephant afterwards, we had all these betas of Moodeng, and we just didn't see that with penguin.
But see, this is where I actually think this is the fundamental difference. And like, I think most people who have been trading on chain for a long time don't even realize, because they don't see the change every day. I don't think they realize how their like psychological approach to everything has changed. Like everyone is fundamentally acting differently in the sense that like what you would have had in the old days with WIF or whatever was, though there would be significant retraces on those coins, the derivatives or betas or new things would pop up, and then people would basically flip those, and they would rotate back, and you would have the second leg of it was like an ecosystem almost, and there were established coins to trade that people use TA on, all this stuff. They just move on to the next thing now, and they don't come back. And therefore, it's this vicious cycle where, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, because like that doesn't exist anymore. There's no rotation back. It's just like, if I wasn't in this thing early, I can never support that token. I have to find the next one. And that used to be the case when it was at 50 million, and now it's the case when it's at like
50K.
50, yeah. Like, and so that mentality has a toll that kind of carries throughout everything. And I don't think people actually realize that they are all part of that as well. It just kind of slowly happened little by little, and now here we are.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough reality where we are. We spoke about this before the show as well, like just the state of where CT is right now. And I was saying, like, CT has changed so much in the last 6 months, and I think the main thing what's changed is people stopped really getting paid to shill, and they started getting paid to FUD. And I think that's changed the whole dynamic of how CT is right now, and it's become a very toxic place. But once again, bear market stuff. Like this is just what happens. But yeah, this whole game of paying to FUD, and I don't know, man. It's just, I'm not a fan of it. It's made at least the trenches subsection of CT quite fucking exhausting. So
yeah, I mean, CT is a brutal place to be right now. I mean, you don't know who is being paid, because back in the day, if people were shilling things, you could often assume that they were being paid to do so. But now, with
Mm.
the invention of being paid to FUD, you just have no, it just feels like everybody is incentivized both ways now. And you have no idea who's bought, who's not bought, who sold their account. I was asked to fucking be a escrow for someone selling their Twitter account recently.
What
And
the
I just like
fuck?
didn't realize
Really?
that like people were selling Twitter accounts like left and right. Like I just
Yeah.
didn't realize that was a thing. And so now it's like you don't know who owns these accounts anymore, what their motives are. And like during bear markets is when a lot of these accounts get sold too, right? Because people
Hmm.
need money or whatever it is. And so between people selling their accounts, advent of being paid to FUD, paid to shill, you don't know who's real and who's not real anymore, and you don't know who's incentivized to say what anymore. And everybody's just mad all the time. It just feels like you don't know what's real, and everybody's fighting, and it's a really sad place. And I think like that was a big reason why we started to do this show, right? I
Hmm.
think we felt that there weren't enough people like speaking genuinely, just like their opinions, and like not with any sort of incentive behind it. And I think, credit to us a little bit, we've managed to kind of just like speak our mind and stay truthful and not really like, I don't know, I don't take money to do anything. I don't think you guys do either. So like that's great. And I think Greg, thankfully, he said something really nice to us the other day. How I'm going to shill our pod here a little bit. He said how watching our show, it's better than going on CT, and that really had me thinking about like what the fuck happened to the crypto Twitter we love.
Mm.
And do you guys think it can come back?
I think it can come back, but like it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of time. I feel like the people we had last cycle on CT have sort of like just disappeared. They just they retired, or they got sick of the space and sort of packed up. And now this new gen of CT, I guess it's the trench CT or whatever. Yeah, everyone's I guess FUD for hire. And it makes the place very disingenuous. And not to say that it's been the most genuine place ever before, but like, yeah, the idea of getting paid to FUD just isn't it. It just creates this whole like FOMO, for example. I think that's the key example. I know we're the sponsor of the show, but when they do fuck up, we will be the first to mention it. But like on the timeline, I think it's very, very clear. There's some people getting paid to FUD FOMO. And it just, yeah, it makes what we knew of CT just, I don't know, it just doesn't go, oh, I want to get on here and soak up some information from smart people or
Yeah.
something along them lines. Because you open up the timeline, it's just some guy getting paid to shit on X platform or X competitor. It's boring, man.
Yeah, my attempt at like navigating through this right now has kind of, and I don't know if it's the right way to do it, because certainly like I'm going to end up missing things. I'm not going to have like up to date information on a lot of what's going on, especially on chain. But like I've just been trying to, and it's easier said than done. But I've been trying to cleanse the timeline that I have, where basically if I see like shilling or fudding of whatever, anything, companies, tokens, whatever, I'm just trying to like clear that out, and I'm trying to focus on following people who are posting more objective content. And and it can be directionally biased, but like if they're posting TA based stuff, macro views, like things that I can kind of latch onto, and I can know like that person may be right or wrong, but they're putting some evidence and like, like something like that's a little bit more just like tangible in front of me. I want to see that stuff. And then like I'm going to just hope that the timeline gets cleansed, where you're going to start seeing the people who are a little bit more authentic start to rise to the top. Probably have to wait until market conditions get better to kind of see people rise up and gain traction and credibility again. It is hard to do though with the way the algorithm has been lately, because you go, click a link and follow something that someone sends that's one of these, people that are clearly a paid shill or fudder or whatever, and then they keep popping up on your timeline even if you don't follow them. So
Mm.
it's a little bit easier said than done to do, but like I'm trying to focus on people who are trying to provide value a more objective value. And I think that's probably the way to go until we see a little bit of cleansing in the timeline and some of this stuff washes out.
I don't know if it will wash out. I hope it fucking does, but yeah, I think it's just going to get to the point of where people just become very, very hyper aware of what's going on. I think it's getting there.
I think it's happening though, right? Like there's people are becoming desensitized to it, where it's like they see this stuff and it's like, I'm just going to ignore it because this guy's just constantly doing this stuff,
Yeah, there's very, very specific accounts who you see.
And they still do it, and then you call them out on it, and then they fuck with you over it.
And we don't reference these accounts. We're not going to, because we don't really want to shine any more attention on it. We just want to focus on the news. We want to focus on, we'll give you our opinions, but like, it's really based on just like what we're seeing happening. And there's not an incentive for it. We're just trying to help here.
Yeah. My favorite thing though was Greg calling Sats an unk when Sats is like 2 years old.
Yeah, real shit. Real shit.
As we sit here talking about reminiscing over the old days of CT, as if we were unks. But yeah, who knows? Price going up certainly fixes a lot of things, and in a bull market, people aren't really funding anything. But I do think the advent of the Vamp was when the negativity started. I think we can trace back all this shit to the Vamp, to Vamp culture, which is still happening today, which is just so crazy. Every coin, there's 20 of them were vamping stuff. But it feels like when vamping coins started is kind of when all this funding started, because you had incentive for other people's bags to do poorly. Whereas historically, there weren't enough coins. And if there was one Doge, like we wanted that Doge to do well. We all bought the same fucking Doge. Whereas today, there's 55 of them, if not more, and we're all fudding the other persons because we all want to be early to something. I think that it all goes back to pump fun, right? And the advent of this stuff. But yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll get out of it. But people will build through the bear market. Say had a really good tweet the other day how like right now is when you just want to keep building things. And I think our version of building and contributing to the space is going to be through this show. People will build new products, and our goal is to keep building through this. Yeah. And another note, did you guys check out what Meteora did with their new dynamic terminal?
I've been meaning to play around with it. I actually think it's pretty interesting. You want to give the rundown on it?
Yeah, I'll give a quick rundown of it. Soju was on the show a few weeks ago. He kind of let us know this was coming, but essentially they are trying to change the way people view LPing, right? And we talked about this, like when people think about pools and about LPing, they think about impermanent loss mostly, and they don't really have clarity into like how their position is doing, whether they're up money or down money or whatever. So they made a few changes to it and made it look more like a terminal, which I think, whether or not you think it's good or bad, I think more people should be buying and selling coins using pools, because it's a great way to enter and exit things without hurting a chart, 2, without realizing slippage, 3, you can earn fees while doing it. Like, it's an absolute no-brainer to enter and exit coins. You want to, especially with size, using Meteora or using pools or LPing. But I think there's just a huge mental hurdle to it, because I think last cycle, at least for me, I was so busy in these Polygon like APY farms getting wrecked half the time that like impermanent loss was like such a terrifying thing for me to have to overcome. And then now there's all these tools and it feels a little more complicated. So I think this is a really good step in the right direction to kind of normalize LPing and create a product that people who are trading on Axiom or Padre or whatever these terminals are called nowadays, they can kind of see and relate to more. I think it's a good step. I think it's a step in the right direction. I've gotten mixed reviews. Some people don't like it. Some people think it's too clunky. Some people think it's hard to understand. A lot of the old users dislike it, but they're trying to change the conversation around it, and they're building something, and they're trying to build new shit, which I think is good.
Yeah, I don't think that can be a negative. I'm going to give it a go, actually. I don't know what coin I'm going to fucking use it on yet.
That's a problem, right?
That's a big problem.
You'd have to own a coin first, Sets.
Very true. That's a big hurdle. It's a big hurdle. You've actually got to open it up and buy it. and decide there's a good token, which is mission impossible in this market right now. So.
I do think it sheds light on an interesting issue, and Soju and the team are like really clearly like attacking it head on. But it's like I think the old the people who are their user base, the people who actually are comfortable with and have been using out like that feature to LP, like I think the product for that subset of people is pretty straightforward and simple, and they've gotten used to how they use it. And now they're like, Meteor is like, hey, we need to change this in a way that's approachable to this like newer generation of trading, and we want to make it like that terminal experience that is what obviously has picked up steam. It's just like two different subsets of users. So it's like, how do we acquire, this new user base and make this more approachable to everybody without kind of alienating the user base we have? It's kind of a tricky problem to solve. I haven't used this new dynamic terminal yet. I'll probably try it out this weekend. But I'm intrigued to see how it plays out, and I'm sure they'll respond to feedback, but like this is interesting, and it sort of shows you the way everything is trending, right? Like everyone has to kind of like get on board and accept, hey, everyone's trying to do things faster with less patience, like less friction. And you got to do that now. And if you're not building a product that represents that, then, what's left of on-chain traders probably aren't going to identify with it. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You need to adapt to what has become popular. And if you're not, then you need to make something like, I think the next step here will be to build something as simple as FOMO.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where you just click a few buttons and it gives you suggestions, and then all of a sudden you're LPing and you're doing it cross-chain and you're doing all this stuff. And
I hope they can do this and retain the core like value prop of the product though, right? Where like you're still achieving the same thing. You're providing liquidity to the tokens, and you're making it a little more effective in terms of entries and exits.
Yeah.
But making the process easier. That would be great.
I'm sure they will. Another thing we never talked about, speaking of Meteora, is last week, because we weren't on Friday, there was the whole scandal of Axiom, right? And everyone thought it was going to be Met who was going to go down for it. And this was right after we had Soju on the show, and we was like, I don't know what's going to happen here. And it turned out to not be Met, and it was somebody else. But this made me think a lot about this, which was the second this happened, everybody starts pointing to a poly market that came up on this, which was, who is Zach XBT gonna out? And it came out that someone related to Axiom, who was then fired, made like a couple $100,000 off of this poly market thing. And all of crypto Twitter is losing their mind over someone making $200,000. Like $200,000 is like insane. Like people trade, like we've all lost more than that on coins before. Like there's not even the liquidity to buy enough of anything on poly market outside of sports, right? Sports is different. But when you look at anything, if you look at like their political stuff, you look at their crypto related things, there's no liquidity. You get slipped buying $100 of something in most of this stuff. Like there's a pool out there today that I was looking at for like who's going to be outed from the Trump administration in 2026. It had lifetime volume. Okay, well, look at this. The DHS hearing.
This was from last week. Yeah.
Last week. $200,000 of all-time volume. We have shitcoins doing $200,000 of volume in 2 minutes on the Solana blockchain. And here we are like saying that Kalshi and Poly market are going to like change the way people hedge risk in the world. And they're so illiquid, and people like their first thing to do is to go claim that people are insider trading on these things. But like you can't even make meaningful money on this shit. I'm just like, I really am struggling to understand the valuations of these things, and maybe I'm short-sighted, but like I just don't think there's even the appetite to gamble on this stuff. I don't know anybody who uses Poly market or Kalshi.
I don't either. Well,
people are using it. Like, there was the, I don't know if you guys saw during the State of the Union, there was like, now again, some of the stuff you're used to trading, you might not think this is crazy, but it was like $25 million worth of volume traded on mention markets of words people thought Trump was going to say during the State of the Union. So are those numbers astronomical? No, but for the fact that it's this tiny niche thing that, is subject to just what is going to come out of someone's mouth, and it's all instantaneous to the minute stuff. Like, I think that's why the prevailing narrative has taken over of like the financialization of everything, not just equities markets or crypto markets or whatever, but like we're financializing everything. And that's the narrative that's being pushed. I think, yes, to your guys' points, like there's a lot of people, go back to the shill, paid shill conversation. Like there's a lot of people who are talking about this stuff who have Kalshi badges or poly market badges on X. And we don't know if they're really actually making bets, or maybe they're making $5 wagers and everything. I think you look at sports, and I think there's a clear understanding to me of like, okay, why is this attractive? And there is much more liquidity. Like 80% of the liquidity on Kalshi is through sports markets. Last time I checked, and like what you see is like, okay, that's peer to peer. There's no house taking an edge. It's just like the odds change in accordance to who decides to bet on what. And I think there's something that's very attractive about that concept, that you have peer to peer like betting and settlement, as opposed to you're betting against the house and there's a vig and all that stuff. Once you abstract out of that and you get to politics and mentions and everything, it's like, yeah, like it's tough to see the liquidity being market made and having all this deep, like trustable kind of like backing to it, because there's so many liabilities towards it. And it's just like, if someone is betting a large amount of money, why are they betting so much money on something like that? That's at least for the short-term markets. I can understand the 2028 political, presidential election or whatever. But the stuff you're referring to, Wood, it's definitely like, yeah, I just don't see how that becomes this, organic daily activity that creates asymmetric returns. There's not enough money or backing in it.
Yeah, that screenshot would put in the group chat of the 100 getting slipped on $100 buy.
So we did this. It was like, it actually doesn't even tell you what that slippage is, but it's concerning if you can't put $100 on something and not get slipped. I don't know how people trade this, day trade this stuff. But supposedly it's happening. It's just not in large notional amounts.
That was one of the craziest bits of CT this cycle as well, when everyone got the Kalshi badges.
Yeah, people were trading $10 because they were, and we were like all mocking them because they had no edge, but like it turns out that they just didn't have enough liquidity to trade anything. You couldn't put more than $10 into things, and you couldn't actively trade it. There's nothing to actively. I mean, you can't have an edge on every single thing going on in the world, right?
Now, the average person will have fun. We remember one of our friends was betting on Dancing with the Stars on Polymarket. And it was like, you put $10 on that. Maybe that's like a fun thing to do on the couch or whatever. But, there's a difference if you're talking about this becoming like a true, financial, institutionalized platform. You're going to have to find a way to have more liquidity with these things.
Wasn't that Y22 betting on Dancing with the Stars? Man, what a guy. What a guy.
But like the valuations here are crazy. You got Kalshi at 11 bill, and Polymarket is similar, around 11 billion. They're both. Let me see. Polymarket valued at between 9 and 15.
Jesus.
Like what is like going on to justify?
Well, I think again, sports? Predominantly sports, politics, like longer time horizon politics.
Yep.
Those things are real, I think. And again, the peer-to-peer settlement is very intriguing, but a lot of the narrative around financialize everything, you can bet on anything at any moment, that's a sexy narrative. And I don't know if that part is as sticky as they want to make it out to be right now.
Yeah, I feel like it's so prevalent here on CT, and then I go walk around outside or talk to my neighbors. I've never heard anybody talk about Polymarket or Kalshi in real life before.
I've heard Polymarket. I haven't heard Kalshi.
So the question is, are we early to it? Is this really a trend that's happening and it's just early, and these are household names a year from now? Or is this like a small bubble that's kind of overhyped in a small community?
I think it's a little overhyped. I think it has been from the start. Like the whole idea of prediction markets seems so good. Like you said, it's a sexy idea, but in practice, yeah, these markets are not liquid, and yeah, I don't know. People love to pitch it as it's not a crypto product, though, doesn't it? That's the whole thing. Like Polymarket doesn't seem like a crypto product.
Well, their stuff is getting embedded into news streams. You got CNN has Polymarket odds on the bottom ticker. It's like, if it, on one hand with elections, like it's proving to be a more accurate, those lines are more accurate than traditional polling. So like that's interesting, right? What does that mean? I don't know what that exactly means for their like growth proposition, but like it's very, there seems to be something there. The fact that it's like gives you more accurate predictions of things that are going to happen, because when people put money behind these statements, it's like, they're looking to put money where there's an edge. And so in a way, the insider activity is almost like beneficial for like news markets to basically abstract what's actually happening.
Yeah. It's just weird to me how people freak out about the insider trading activity when it's like people aren't making that much money off of it. Like,
yeah, I think it's more the principle of it though, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe. People in crypto people being principled is absolutely comical, by the way.
Yeah, that's very true as well.
Like, it's the greatest thing in the world, seeing the people that are being principled about it. We've all done things we're not proud of before, probably, but like, the people who are really outspoken about it, I feel like, tend to have done a lot of things that you should really not be proud about. So that's just been my narrative. Speaking of crazy valuations, Tether is just running around tossing money at everything that walks, it looks like. You guys see, they just put money into 8Sleep. Since Tether's investing in sleep companies now.
Good product though.
You're an 8Sleep guy?
Are you an 8Sleep guy?
Yeah, I am. I couldn't recommend highly enough. It's game changer. If you haven't got one, definitely go buy one. And I'm not sponsored.
Sponsor us.
We have to question everything now.
Yeah.
Anything that gets promoted here, we got to know if you're being paid.
Yeah, that, and then Tether put 200 million into WAP, I believe.
That's an interesting one.
Have you guys?
What is WAP? I still don't understand what WAP is.
Sats, can you tell us?
Yeah, it's like you get paid. You can get paid for clipping. It's like you can sell courses through there. Like, it's been around for a while now. I know it's got decent leadership. I know that. Like, there's a lot of big people leading it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Iman Gadzi, but yeah, he's a guy there. Big course guy. But yeah, it's an interesting one. I haven't really delved into the product and used it myself, but I remember Believe had a partnership at one point with them. Take that as you will. That was an interesting one. I remember shilling that like it was like we just discovered bread. Not my proudest moment. Yeah.
So here's one interesting thing. Like, I'm just kind of thinking about this as we talk about it, but Tether, like our understanding of what Tether is as an entity, I feel like is kind of changing in real time.
Yes.
Because we know of Tether as like the stablecoin issuer, right? And like it's this crazy lean company. I don't know how many employees they have. Like a year ago, where I think they had like 20 or 30 employees or something crazy like that, less than 100. They've probably made somewhere around north of $13 billion in their company treasury off of their stablecoin business. But now they've started basically just like investing in all these consumer products. So this one yesterday with 8Sleep was kind of the big talking point because they're in the mattress game now, I guess. If you guys remember, they did Rumble. Sats, you probably know Rumble. It's like a
streaming platform.
Streaming video platform. This again, WAP. I don't know. They bought a stake in Juventus, the soccer team. I know Paolo's Italian. So, but basically, like this is kind of uncharted territory where it's like there's this core business that's a stablecoin issuer, and then they started adding. They have a bunch of gold and Bitcoin on their balance sheet.
They're the largest private gold owner in the world.
That's insane.
But like, I don't think they run like a traditional company. I could be wrong. I don't think there's like shareholders and board oversight. It's kind of just Paulo buying whatever he wants, and he seems to be into consumer products now. And
he probably just used 8Sleep and was like, "Wow, great product.
I mean, he's sitting on this massive pile of gold, and no pun intended. Like, he's actually literally sitting on just endless money.
Yeah.
And now he's basically created this Tether Ventures or Tether Industries or whatever it is. And like, what is Tether? Like, do we have a good understanding of what this company is? Is this smart? Are they diversifying, and now it's going to become this massive multifaceted business? Or are we watching them kind of veer off and like lose focus, and it's like, oh, he's just going to do this shit now. Oh, and now he's going to do this. A mattress company. I love mattresses. Like, I don't know. I'm very, and these might be great investments, but I've never really seen, well, I don't know. Is this like a normal trajectory, or is this?
So. I think so. You get to a point where in your company where you're making shitloads of money, you don't know what to do with it. Tether is a company that sort of runs itself now. They're going to print money either way. So yeah, I guess if you're Paolo, you just start chucking shit at things you like. It's funny because all the crypto products, what have Tether as in the round, I've been absolutely hammered on. So yeah, Plasma and the dreaded Ubit, I've been absolutely destroyed on. So interesting.
Yeah, just curious to see if this plays out that these are like aligned, like these are all strategically aligned into some category, or if it's like, no, they're just going to pick and choose, which could work. But
Tether could end up being one of the most important financial institutions in a way that SoftBank has been over the last 20 years going forward. They have, except that they don't have shareholders or anyone to answer to. They just have endless money and an ability to do whatever the fuck they want to and influence the world in any way they see fit. And I think especially once this Clarity Act happens and they can invest maybe more freely and do things more freely with their capital, we could really start to see like long-term impacts of them, not just in crypto, but everywhere, as they become one of the biggest banking players in the world. They already are.
Yeah, they already are.
And
not many people know.
What do they do with that money?
Yeah, I feel like traditional finance, like they're not really caught up with Tether. And then they just see these massive rounds and they're like, oh shit, yeah, these guys exist. Like,
speaking of Clarity Act, I know we don't claim ourselves to be the political experts here, but where do things stand on that? Because we had this March 1 deadline that came and passed, right? Like, there was a big, lot made out of like March 1 is the line in the sand. And then it clearly did, there was not an agreement. It sounded like the banks were kind of holding them hostage on some of the stablecoin yield or whatever. And now, and I don't know if you guys have seen, it seems like a lot of comments coming out from the Trump family or the Trump admin that are kind of like almost seeming like they're trying to bully this through. Kind of comes across a little panicky to me. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it does seem a little panicky. Obviously, deadline closed. I know you're a big Clarity Act guy. Big Clarity Act guy.
Swizzle has said that he's waiting for the Clarity Act to pass so that he can allocate. This is a big.
No, but I allocated already, so I'm in trouble.
You pre-fied on the Clarity Act.
Yeah, I was betting on the March 1 passage.
Swizzle said, I'm going to wait until the Clarity Act passes to allocate. Allocates anyways.
Tried to front run it, man. It didn't work.
Yeah. I mean, I think Trump and his son specifically are really trying to bully this forward. But, I mean, look at the Trump family. You see how much money they've made off of this. And you say, okay, if you're a rational person, you just say, okay, what do they stand to gain off of this? It has to be a shit ton of money. Like, they founded a stablecoin company just in time to get the Clarity Act passed. Like, they certainly to prosper off of it. So it's like, I don't know. It all feels kind of icky. But, hopefully for us it passes so our banks can keep going up. And it's done in some like way that is good, but I just don't know. Last thing I want to talk about that I thought was funny, guys, was Kraken getting Federal Reserve access as the first crypto firm ever.
And they list some real shit.
Kraken? Yeah,
it's an interesting one because they're becoming a bit like the glorified Mexi. They just list anything. If it's got a name and you're paying, you're going on Kraken. So yeah. Bit of an interesting angle, but like nothing surprises me at the moment.
What does that actually mean that they got access to the Federal Reserve, by the way? That sounds horrifying.
Sounds
but I don't know what it means.
I don't either. Not sure I want to.
Fed master account through Kansas City Fed.
It has gained access to its central bank's core payment system.
Interesting.
Which means it's a momentous integration of crypto infrastructure into the U.S. financial plumbing. I don't know what any of these words mean. They're very big. All I know is that the Chill House account tweeted that Kraken, if your coin is listed on Kraken, someone is doing crime on it, and it's probably going to zero. And I will always remember that tweet.
It just seems like, again, none of us are really qualified to speak on this too much, but like, how did it end up being Kraken, man? Like, it just it doesn't seem like the most.
All of those listing payments were used to lobby.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't realize Kraken was like that big. Like, I knew they're big. That's maybe not the right way to say it, but like, you would think it would be someone who's really kind of like established, like institutional relation. You know, the Coinbase, the I don't know. I guess I really can't think of anyone other than Coinbase that I would expect that to be. But yeah, we'll revisit this one next week because we don't know enough information on it. But it's very bizarre. Very bizarre.
Looks like we lost sats. I think we can probably wrap up here anyways. As prices keep going down. What's Bitcoin at now? Swizzle, what are we doing? 68.5. Equities getting hammered. SPY down 1%.
Let's see a liquid weekend.
Let's see. A liquid
it's
weekend.
It's going to be aggressive one way or the other.
I wish there was just something to do on chain to pass the time, but there just isn't. And it's just like, time to touch grass, get hobbies, and build, I guess, right?
Maybe hang out with your kids, Wood.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing. Getting beat up. I didn't sleep last night. These fucking kids they keep you up all night. Anyways, we'll be back Tuesday. We have a special guest on Tuesday.
We do. Can we announce that?
Yeah, let's announce it.
I think so. We're going to have Avi Patel from Kled coming on. And yeah, we're going to talk Kled. I think it's been a little silent. Crypto Twitter kind of moved on, but we're going to dive deep a little bit and see what he's been up to. And he's obviously been in a lot of polarizing situations, running back to the Launchcoin Believe days, but he's running an AI company, and we want to see what's going on with that. So
yeah, I think he's one of the most polarizing figures we had come out of the AI ICM meta. People love Kled, like lots of prominent people on crypto Twitter loved Kled, right? And so I think it'll be fun to hear from the man himself. I don't think he's done many shows either. So it'll be cool to chat with him and learn about what he's building in crypto, outside of crypto, and how the two things are being married together. It'll be a fun conversation. Also going over his stories with Pasternak will definitely be a must. So tune in Tuesday. We'll be having Avi Patel from Kled on 12 o'clock Tuesday. See you then. Go download FOMO. Promo code RISKON, 10% off all of your trading fees. Best multi-chain trading experience in the game. Download it today. Join us there. Join everyone there. Trenches are dead, but it's never dead on FOMO. And we'll see you guys Tuesday.